All right, welcome to this week's episode of Pursuit of Education. You're back with your host, Norman Ford. Uh, Today's topic is exactly as it sounds, the pursuit of education. We're going to be talking about students or, just people in general who took a break before pursuing higher education. Um, so we're not really going to discuss the different time lengths or however long it was between people choosing to go to school. Just those students who went through that process. Um, so I actually do have a special guest today. Her name is Tracy Ford. That is my mom. She has experience with this. So I'm going to let her share, and I'll share myself about my experience, and we'll go from there. All right, so my guest today is Tracy Ford. It's my mom. Again, she has experience with the pursuit of education and her own journey. So I'm going to let her actually share how it happened for her.
Thank you for this opportunity. I decided after 20 years that I wanted to go back and obtain a higher education degree in business administration with the HR influence. I have worked in various roles in HR and I wanted to have that degree. I left college when I had almost all my units together for an AA, but I stopped. And then 20 years later, I went back, finished the rest of my few general ed classes, and then just focused on my major. It was a life changing event, something that my family was able to be proud of, something I was proud of. And I definitely encourage anyone who's thinking about it that you're never too old, because I do believe I was probably one of the oldest people in that class. And I'm not old, but older than college age students. So it's a great experience, and I highly recommend it. No matter what the reason you stopped, it's definitely worth going back for.
Just real quick, what was different when you went the first time around versus when you returned 20 years later?
Well, one of the things that, of course, is obvious is that the age difference, of course. But one of the things is I think I was more ready for learning because, I went there just more dedicated, wanting to focus. I strive to get A's, and I was able to do that. And just making sure that I accomplished it and did the best that I could. I mean, I was a good student before, but when I went back as an adult, I was more mature, and just my mindset was different.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Well, thank you for sharing, and we appreciate you as always. I graduated from high school in 2009. Um, I actually did immediately go to a local community college. I was there for about half a semester, and for me, I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. Um, I had my first son, so amongst other things, I was distracted, and school was like one of the last things on my mind at that point. Working was number one priority, um, and even though I could have for sure balanced school and work, it was nowhere on my radar. So instead of wasting time going to class, working towards something that I had no idea what was going to be the end result, I decided to get out of school. And I was actually out of school from 2009 to about 2014. 2014, going back to school, it was super different for me. At that point, I knew what I wanted to accomplish. I knew what I wanted to work towards. I knew what I needed to do to get there. So I was focused, kind of like a tunnel vision. So for me, it was much easier at that point. Um, and lots of people had warned me, don't take a break, go to school straight through, do what you need to do to accomplish that goal. But for me, it didn't work. So my journey, like I said, it took me some years to get back. But when I went the second time around, which is coming to an end very soon, um, it was a way different experience. Like I said, I had tunnel vision. I still do. So I've been able to balance work, balance school, balance my kids and their own schooling, and no matter how hectic the schedule gets, I'm able to accomplish, what I set out to do every semester. I have been a part-time student for a long time, so it's taken a lot longer than maybe it should have. But ultimately, the end goal is the same. I'm going to be graduating with my degree. Hit the link in the bio if you want to go ahead and get next week's episode. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.